How did I get into this mess? Why? Why did I do that? That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake, if you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that. Dun dun dun. It wasn't me. I didn't. I didn't do it. "5 years earlier, Mia Fey, second trial." April 11th, 9:40 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Hello everyone, Triple S back here with some more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy, with the third game, Trials and Tribulations. And the first case, Turnabout Memories. That is the right one, right? I think it is. So, like it said, this is a case that took place 5 years earlier, and it was Mia Fey's first case. I've already forgotten. I'm pretty sure it's the first. No, it's not first case, it's second case. Whatever. Let's just go. Woo, it's finally time. I'm kinda nervous. Oh, Mr. Grossberg. Good morning. Ah, Mia, please calm yourself down. You're going to get yourself arrested for suspicious behaviour, you know. What are you talking about? I'm relaxed, Mr. Grossberg. Look at me. I'm relaxed. Let go of my lapels. You obviously haven't got the temperament to be a lawyer. I'm so sorry. It's just that I'm so nervous today. Oh, that's right. This is your first time in the big leagues, isn't it? Well, never you fear, my dear. I'm Marvin Grossberg. I'm at your service. Actually, this is my second time in court. Yeah, I was getting confused myself. I read that thing wrong at the beginning. Still, you surprised me. What with your earnest request last night? Let me handle this case, you suddenly said. And quite forcefully, too. I just found out yesterday about the case, I mean. What? And you've already learned all the relevant facts? Well, about that. You see, I mean, of course I have, I think. Oh dear. In any case, don't let our client see you're so nervous. You see the poor young man in the pink sweater over there? That's our client. Good morning there, everybody. Good morning. Try to keep smiling, Mia. Yeah. I just want to say, I'll give it all I've got. Yep, it'll be fine. No prob. Cough, achoo. That's the noises that he's doing for that. Oh, what's wrong? Do you have a cold or something, Mr. Rye? Actually, it's Wright. Like the Flying Brothers. People screw it up all the time. And yes, I have a cold. That's what this mask is for. My doc says this way I won't give it to anyone else. Be kind to others, he says. Right, Mr. Wright. You have nothing to fear in court today. If you are truly innocent, I promise I will save you. But please let go of my shirt. That's right, he's the one on trial, not you. He's the one who should be nervous. You should stay strong for your client, Mia. My name is Mia Fey. I'm still pretty new at this lawyer thing. The first time I appeared in court was a year ago. But that trial traumatized me so badly I thought I'd never set foot in another courtroom. It's been 1 year since then, and well, here I am again. But this time I'm going to win. For my clients, and for myself. April 11th, 10 AM, District Court, Courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Phoenix Wright. The defence is ready, Your Honour. The prosecution is ready, Your Honour. The defence today is Miss Mia Fey, was it? Yes, Your Honour. Is there a problem? I was under the impression that Marvin Grossberg was to be leading the defence. Yes, well, you see, Mr. Grossberg had a bit of an emergency. Emergency? Isn't that him standing there right next to you? Yes, well, you're just a rookie. Are you sure you can really handle this? Don't let him scare you, Mia. Give him your toughest look. Of course, Your Honour. I think. Well, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, please. Well. I can't believe a veteran like me has spent his time babysitting a new defence lawyer. Don't worry, little girl. It'll be all over soon. What was that all about? Was he trying to trash talk me? Now then, I'd like to proceed with a summary of events on the day in question. The incident occurred on the campus of Ivy University. The murder victim was a student named Doug Swallow. He was a 4th year student studying pharmacology. It sounds like he was a very bright young man. Yes, well, next we have a photo taken at the scene of the crime. Students discovered the scene shortly after the murder. They found the victim's body. And the defendant, who had obviously bungled his getaway, they then called the police. That certainly makes the defendant look very suspicious indeed. Very well. The court accepts this photo into the record as evidence. Crime photo 1 added to the court record. By the way, I can't quite tell the cause of death from this photo. Hehehe. Your reputation for sagacity is well earned, Your Honour. The truth is that this victim died a rather unusual death. An unusual death? What do you mean, Mr. Payne? Well, perhaps the defence would like to take this question. Huh? A simple question. I thought I might loosen you up a bit. I am a genteel man, if you will. What? Stand up to him, Mia. Show him what you're made of. Perfect opportunity. Well, what was it? The cause. Go on. Please say you know at least this much. I'm so sorry. I didn't get a chance to read through the whole file. My hemorrhoids are beginning to act up. Now see here. The details of the case are filed under the court record. But you knew that already, didn't you? The court record. I think I can see that by pressing the right bumper. All the weapons we need can be found in the court record. Take a good, hard look at the data there, and think it carefully before you answer, my dear. Yes, sir. I'll do just that. Got to stay calm. I can't let that prosecutor get the better of me. The court record. Okay, let's take a look. Just press the right bumper here. No, you don't. Now then, with the opportunity for the defence, please answer the question. What was the cause of death? Asphyxiation, electrocution, hypothermia, electrocution. According to the court record, it was a fatal electric shock. In other words, electrocution. Electrocution? But how could such a thing happen? Did the murderer use some type of new super powerful stun gun, perhaps? The answer to that will become crystal clear as this trial proceeds, Your Honour. But before that, there is one more vital issue. What's that? Why, motive, of course. Apparently there was some bad blood between the victim and the defendant. Bad blood? What do you mean? Oopsie, I'm terribly sorry. You're the defence attorney, so you must know all about it. I shouldn't be stealing your spotlight like this. I really don't like this guy's smug attitude. That's Winston Payne for you. He's one smooth operator, if you catch my drift. They don't call him the rookie killer for nothing, you know. Now then, let's hear from the defence. What was the source of the bad blood between the victim and the defendant? And this time, I would like to see some supporting evidence. Evidence? No need to get all worked up over this. As I said, all our weapons can be found in the court record. Find the evidence you need and then shove it into old Greybeard's face. Yes sir, into old Greybeard's face. Mr. Grossberg, try to set a better example for the young lady. Mia, evidence isn't the only thing in the court record. People's profiles are as well. You can toggle between profiles and evidence with the right bumper, so be sure to go over it all. Now then, let's see what you've got. What was the cause of the bad blood between Phoenix Wright and the victim? Well, it was this person. The reason for the bad blood between the two of them was this woman here. Dahlia Hawthorne, is it? Very good, Miss Fay. You seem to have picked up on at least this much. This woman is the girlfriend of the defendant, Phoenix Wright. but up until about 8 months ago, she was with the victim, Mr. Swallow. Clearly she had some part to play in this story. Ah. Oh, he's done it again. Before the cross-examination starts, he's already got the judge thinking like he wants. Very well, Mr. Payne. Please call your first witness. If it pleases the court, the prosecution would like to call Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? The defendant himself? Well, Miss Fay? It's fine. After all, Mr. Wright is innocent, right? The defence has no objection. Very well. The court calls Mr. Phoenix Wright to the witness stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Oh, yes, my name is Phoenix Wright. My job is, well, right now I guess I'm a suspect. No, he means what did you do before you were arrested? Oh, I was a university student. Mr. Wright, you understand that you were suspected in the death of your fellow student, Doug Swallow. But I didn't do it. I'm innocent, I tell you. I'm telling you I was. Will the defendant please refrain from passing on his call to the rest of us? It seems the witness has something he wants to say. Well then, Mr. Wright. Please tell us about your relation to the victim. Right away, Your Honour. I need a drink. The victim and I. I admit I was there. But I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. Wow, harsh. Ah, I see, so you hardly knew the victim. Right, like I said, I'm not a killer. Whew, looks like the judge understands. You're being naive, you know. Too naive. Huh? It seems like you've forgotten one small thing, young lady. And that would be... this witness still has to undergo something called cross-examination. Cross-examination? He's right, and it's the defence's duty to carry out this cross-examination. The purpose is to determine if a witness's testimony contains any contradictions. Contradictions? If a witness is lying, their statements will conflict with the court record. But Mr. Wright is my client. Even if he is your client in court, all lies must be struck down. As a lawyer, that is your duty, you see. What does he mean by that? Is he saying that testimony just now, that there was a lie? A contradiction? Now then, your cross-examination, if you please, Miss Fay. Please, Mr. Wright, tell me you haven't been lying. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? Here we go. Okay, we're going to go to statement 4. Never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we press. Mr. Wright, you stated the following in your testimony. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. That's right. I mean, why would I even... But that doesn't sound right. If you hardly knew him, then why would you say that the victim was a stuck-up British wannabe? Well, Mr. Wright. No, it wasn't me. I'm not a killer, I swear. Mr. Wright, I will give you an opportunity to revise your testimony. How is it that you knew the victim was, as you put it, a British wannabe? Yes, well, I'm a British, but not a wannabe, because I'm a British. He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. We present at this... Let's just check it. Can't see anything there, so what's he on about? You know? Are you certain you saw the Union Jack? Yeah, I'm sure. It was right there on his back. Miss Fay, is there some point to this line of questioning? Your Honour, please take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing on the victim's back. Hey, wait a minute. He's wearing a leather jacket. The Union Jack was on the back of the t-shirt he was wearing. I was under the impression that you accidentally came across the body. But if that was really the case, then you wouldn't know that, would you? You'd have no idea at all what he was wearing underneath that jacket. Mr. Wright, you've been lying to me. Please forgive me! Mia, you've made our client cry. Let him. That P on his chest doesn't stand for Phoenix anyways. I can't believe I trusted him. Mr. Wright was all wrong. That was an impressive bit of cross-examination. Thank you for uncovering the defendant's lies for me. It's quite clear that this man did not simply stumble upon the scene of the crime. Uh-oh, did I go too far? By the way, Mr. Wright, you seem to have a rather bad cold. Have you taken any medicine for it? Yeah, I took some, but... What's the medicine that you took an over-the-counter brand called Cold Killer X? Yeah, that's right. It kills colds good. Hey, wait a second. How did you know I'm a big fan of Cold Killer X? Hehehe. Would you happen to have that medicine with you right now? Well, actually I seem to have lost it somewhere. He lost it? Does this even have anything to do with the case? Mr. Wright, shall I tell you where your cold medicine is right now? Huh? Your Honour, I'd like you to take a look at another photo from the crime scene. What's this? The victim's hand, it's Cold Killer X. Yes, but even I've got a bottle of Cold Killer X in my apartment. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid the argument won't work. There's no doubt as to who this bottle of Cold Killer X belongs to, especially since Mr. Wright's fingerprints are all over it. What? Sensing his murderous intent, Mr. Swallow must have picked up the bottle of medicine, dropped by Mr. Wright, and hid it in his hand. His purpose in doing so can only have been to identify his killer as Phoenix Wright. Order! Order in the court! Your Honour, I'd like to present this photo and bottle as evidence. Very well. The court will accept them into the record. Crime photo 2 added to the court record. Cold Killer X added to the court record. Also, the victim's wristwatch was broken. Broken? Yes, it ceased functioning when a large wave of electricity passed through it. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have some kind of explanation for all of this? This is really bad. Oh, my buttocks, my poor hemorrhoids. Oh. What really happened? Huh. I guess they're taken out of this game, because in the guide, it says that I should have been asked by Grossberg, well, my dear, do you think you can manage on your own from this point? And you're supposed to pick, I can handle it myself, but that never came up. So I guess they took it out of this HD upgrade. So, what really happened? The truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so he agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then at around 3, we split up. Oh, maybe he actually asked me to do it after this testimony, you know. Then later, when I went back, I found him lying there. I've been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days, but I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. He might ask me now if I can handle it by myself, actually, so... Mr. Wright, that's completely different from the testimony you gave previously. I'm sorry, Your Honour. I was afraid you wouldn't believe the truth. You'll forgive me if I say I hardly find your current testimony any more credible. Miss Fay, please begin your examination. Oh, please, Mr. Wright, don't tell any more lies. Oh, no, I'm completely wrong. Yeah, they just took out this game completely then. Okay, so, we've got to go to statement 2. He was in Pharmacology Press. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated you should meet at 2:45? Yeah, and we were both there right on time. You said the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct? Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of IVU. An alchemist, I see. I gotta admit, it was a little suspicious. He had a whole laboratory and everything. It was filled with chemicals and strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. Oh, how fascinating. Sounds like he was quite an ambitious young man. What do I do? Maybe I should ask him for some more details about the pharmacology department. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about the pharmacology department. Well, okay, sure. I don't know all that much, though. A little bit earlier in your testimony, you said something interesting. You said the department uses strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. That's right, and they sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltages, so there are high voltage cables everywhere. High voltage cables? Yeah, there were electrical poles set up all around the building. The high voltage cables run overhead around the roof. Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. We got to statement 6 now, but I lost my bottle. And we press. On the day of the incident, what did you do for lunch? Huh? What does that have to do with anything? You can never be too sure. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Her mini omelettes are magically delicious. Ouch! Why did you punch me in the jaw? Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like hurting someone all of a sudden. I think that's enough for now. So the defendant and the victim met at approximately the time of his death. And then the defendant returned to the scene for some unknown reason. I'm not entirely convinced by his explanation about the medicine bottle either. Let me be frank here, Mr. Wright. Your testimony cannot be trusted. What do you mean? I knew it was too much work for a little girl. Ha. However, there is one mystery that still remains. There is, Your Honour. How the murder was carried out, of course. Just how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct? Well, that is... You are correct, Your Honour. So how exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe I could still come out of this mess smelling like a rose. Establish the murder method. Your Honour. Yes, Miss Faye? I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up until now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died. That would be most impressive. Quite the brash statement coming from a rookie. But even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of the court, yes? An attorney must be able to substantiate their arguments with evidence. Huh, of course I know that. Actually, I had totally forgotten about that. Now then, Miss Faye, let me see what you've got. Wow, very forward, Judge. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted. We present crime photo 1. As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well. What? But there is nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here. Huh, I'm afraid the defence is going to have to explain this in a bit more detail. Miss Faye, where exactly in this photo is the murder weapon? It's right... there! Well, naturally, it's right here. That's... What is that? A severed electrical cable, I believe, Your Honour. Remember the testimony we've heard? The machines the pharmacology students use in their experiments require high voltage. And because of that, there are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere, God. So then, the high voltage cable... Yes, the high voltage cable is the cause of death. That is the most likely explanation. Huh. That certainly sounds plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, I believe some praise is in order. Don't toy with me, old man. Now, the victim's cause of death may indeed have been a high voltage cable. However, I want you to think about what that really implies. The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was... the defendant. That much is certainly true. Yes, and that's not all. We have proof. Irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright was the murderer. You do? Well, what is it? His fingerprints. Fingerprints? You mean that the defendant's fingerprints were on something besides the medicine bottle? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. And as you may know, leather holds fingerprints quite well. Ah, you mean... Yes, it was quite clearly imprinted on the chest area of the victim's jacket. The palm print of the defendant's very own hand. What? I can only think of one way Mr. Wright could have left a print like that. Intent on murder, he squarely pushed the victim towards the severed electrical cable. Order, order, order! That's enough! I think we can conclude that there is no reason to continue with this cross-examination. Stick a fork in us, we're done. Mr. Grossberg, my hemorrhoids never lie. The show is over, Mia. I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him. No, you're wrong. Mr. Wright is innocent. No further evidence is required to convince me of this man's guilt. Your Honour, at this time I am prepared to render a verdict in this case. I think we all know who said that since it's a woman's voice. Do you have something further to add, Miss Fay? Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth, the whole truth. If you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down his verdict. But I can't. I just can't say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be... It's okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me. Miss Fay. No matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you and I'll represent you to the very end. We've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything. Wait a minute. Mr. Wright, I'll tell you what really happened. But I've already told you, Mr. Wright, there's no need for further... I did it. I admit it. I pushed him. It's my fault. My fault that Doug Swallow is dead. That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that. That position he did when he fell, it kind of reminded me of when Edgeworth gets, hurt in court. He goes, "Urgh," and leans backwards. What you just said, was that the truth? Yes, I was afraid that if I told the truth, everyone would think I was the murderer for sure. Well, as things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced you are. Please give me one more chance to explain. This time I swear I'll tell the whole truth. It'll be okay, won't it, Miss Fay? I believe in you. Oh, thank you. Still can't believe it. He really did push the victim. It feels like my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake. Okay, I need to amend my guide here. When I push the victim. I'm losing my voice already. When I push the victim. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. I lost my temper and gave him a shove. At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back, but he was just lying there, dead. Wait, but... if you pushed him, and he died, he'd be still on his back, so how was he on his front? He didn't die immediately. Well, the explanation is really quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Swallow flew back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock, and that, as they say, is that. A simple explanation indeed. At the time of the incident, a light rain had been falling. Wet from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted. But when I pushed him, there weren't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed it. That's true. Even a doofus like him couldn't miss that. Miss Fay, let me warn you right now that if your cross-examination doesn't yield any new facts, I intend to deliver my verdict without further delay. Are we clear on that? Yes, Your Honour. Don't give up, Mia. If he is innocent, there must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it. So the guide says, press statement 1 just for fun, so we're going to do that. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. So what kinds of things did Mr. Swallow say to you? He said all sorts of terrible things about Dolly. He said that she was a bad girl. Is that all? Yep. Well, Miss Fay, you heard him yourself. Oh boy, you're not doing yourself any favours here, Mr. Wright. Please don't make this harder for me than it already is. Anyway, after he said that, I just... okay, we've got to go to segment 3. At that moment, I had a loud noise press. A loud noise? And what would you say that loud noise was, Mr. Wright? I'm not sure, but it was really loud. It was like snap. You know, to think of it, I wonder what that was. Clearly, Your Honour, it was the sound of the victim being electrocuted. You're not qualified to decide that. What should I do? I'm treading on some dangerous ground here. Ask for more details? Leave it alone. Ask for more details. Mr. Wright, that loud noise you heard may be extremely important. So try to remember what it was. How do I put it? It was like a sharp crack. Ah, could it have been... Yes, could it have been... Hurry up and tell us. When I pushed him, he dropped the umbrella he was holding. He fell right on top of it, and it broke. That was probably the noise I heard. An umbrella, huh? And did that umbrella belong to the victim? Yeah, it was a plastic umbrella, cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. Then again, I wish I had any kind of umbrella. I was totally soaked to the bone. Miss Fay, what do you think? Is there something important in that testimony just now? Well... of course it's important. This is it, Mia. The new information you've been waiting for. Of course it's important. No, this cheap umbrella is more than important, it's vital. I want to officially have it entered into the testimony. Ha! How perfectly fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy lawyer. The court agrees to the defence's request. Witness, please add the bit about the cheap umbrella to your testimony. After I shoved him, he fell down on top of his cheap umbrella, and for that, we then present crime photo 1. Why didn't you testify about the umbrella from the very beginning? Come on, if I'd mentioned that, I would have been able to counter the prosecution's arguments earlier. What do you mean by that? Take another look at the crime scene photo. According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole. You're absolutely right. The conclusion here is obvious. After the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive. No! Order, order, order! The victim, he moved? Mr. Payne, the umbrella in this photo, where is it now? Well, it was collected by the police at the crime scene. I want it presented as evidence immediately. Umbrella added to the court record. But the umbrella could have simply been blown there by the wind. According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. There's simply no way it could have been blown there by the wind. but... I know this matter of the umbrella seems relatively trivial, but as long as the smallest doubt remains, I cannot render final judgment. No! I must say, I still find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown in the prosecution's case by the defendant's testimony. Phoenix's testimony added to the court record. Well done, Mia. Hee hee. Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about? Pardon me, Your Honour. It seems I was expecting too much of a free ride. It was foolish to think I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone. Can't speak at all. I'm afraid I don't follow what you're saying. Let me guess, you have another witness. Exactly, and this witness's testimony will be incontrovertible. Well, who is this witness? Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? You don't mean Dolly? I do, Your Honour. The defendant's very own lover is a witness to the whole thing. That's right, she was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. What? I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, my dear. Bad news? You couldn't be more wrong. Actually, I've been waiting for this. You can't be serious. Mia, what do you mean by that? I think this is a good point for us to stop at. Court will now enter a 20-minute recess. Afterwards, we will listen to the testimony of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. April 11th, 11:52 AM, District Court Defendant Lobby Number 3. Miss Faye, I'm sorry about what happened back there. It's alright. At least you told us the truth in the end, Mr. Wright. Yeah. So I guess I can start to relax then, huh? Relax, my boy. You can't be serious. After hiding such important facts. But the next witness is my dolly, right? She'll save me. I just know she will. Why do you think that? Huh? What do you mean? She's the love of my life, that's why. The love of your life, huh? Would you mind telling me more about you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? Sure, no problem. Dolly and we first met about 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse. Actually, I'm studying to be a lawyer on the side. Anyway, one day, she and I just bumped into each other in the reading room downstairs. That's why I really think it was fate that brought us together. As soon as I first set eyes on her, I knew she was the one for me. Oh here, take a look at this. She gave this to me the day we met as a symbol of our love. She had been wearing it around her neck that day, but then she took it off. But before she gave it to me, she said, I want you to carry this. So she gave it to you as a present, I see. This darling little bottle is filled with memories of my darling little dolly. It certainly is a little bottle, alright. Makes me so happy I show it to everyone I meet. I want to share my happiness with the whole world. Dahlia's present borrowed from Phoenix Wright. Anyway, so after that, you and Miss Hawthorne started dating. Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now. What a strange girl asking for a present back like that. By the way, Mr. Wright, the day you first met Dahlia Hawthorne 8 months ago, it wouldn't happen to have been on August 27th, would it? Huh? Yeah, it was. But how did you... This happened on August 27th, right here in this courthouse. What's this, a newspaper clipping? Let's see... Murder in the courthouse. Murder? What are you reading there? Let me see that. Oh, I see. Mia, I think I understand what you're trying to say. And I think I understand why you suddenly took such a keen interest in this case. You believe there is some connection between these two cases, am I correct? Newspaper clipping adds to the court record. I hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossberg. I need to finish this myself. Oh yes, but I'm afraid what you have will not be enough, my dear. I'll go and have a look in the downstairs reading room and see what else I can find. Thank you. I want to do whatever I can to be of help to you, Mia. Well, it looks like recess is about over. We better all get moving. I guess so. That recess sure seemed longer than 20 minutes, though. To be continued! Well, what a start to this game! Taking place in the past, we're playing as Mia. Phoenix Wright is the defendant, he's accused of murder. But apparently as well, Mia thinks this case is connected somehow to a previous case that happened on August 27th, where someone died. So, let's see how that turns out next time. So, thank you for watching. I shall see you all next time. Goodbye. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you decide to subscribe to the channel, that would be amazing, and ding that bell to be the first to hear about my new videos. Thanks again, and I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.